From the Bob Mills Weather Center, the Oklahoma weather expert, Travis Meyer.
Hey, you might have noticed a lot of farmers and ranchers are putting up hay right now. It's been a dry shot of air across the area for the last week, so that's allowed a lot of farmers to get out and get their crops, try to get them baled. It's going to be kind of a tough year the way it looks. If we don't pick up some additional rain, because it was a weird spring, got all our rain at once, and all of a sudden it just shut it off. But again, you'll be seeing a lot of those ranchers, farmers doing that, so just give them a little extra time, a little extra space if they're driving across the area. Speaking of which, here's a look at the last 14 days. All of a sudden everything's shut down with the exception of a few areas of rain up in northwestern Oklahoma. Drought monitor coming in. All of a sudden, we're getting dry. It's amazing how fast that happens. Of course, in the summer, it's hot, and things dry up just quickly. That's obvious. But again, that just started creeping in from out of Missouri, and so we do think if we don't pick up rain next week, we're probably all going to be drier than normal. We just don't want to get in a drought situation. But man, I'll tell you what, we've got some hot air coming our way. Right now, temperatures are in the 80s, and we're in the 90s today, so all that pleasant 80s pretty much is gone. And then the thing that we're going to couple that with is the humidity values. You might have noticed tonight is a lot more humid than it has been the last previous nights. And then what happens is that this 70-degree dew points, and that means really sticky sauna type stuff, 70 to 73 will be common for dew points. And that's a lot of humidity in the green, and so that's going to be hanging out across eastern Oklahoma, East Texas, and across portions of Kansas and Missouri. But it doesn't translate super well into rain, but it does into high heat index numbers. So you have to be aware if you're going to be working outside, we're back to uncomfortable and dangerous conditions, so that's going to be a bit of an issue. But it's time for the 4th of July weekend, so hopefully there's nothing too big or bad that you're going to be doing this weekend. Make sure you stay hydrated. It doesn't matter if you're playing or working, because it's real easy to succumb to the heat during the course of the afternoons with the high humidities. We have a bunch of fireworks that are going to be lit this weekend. We're just showing a few communities, and if your community isn't in there, that's just because we did not have room for everybody. Thought we'd just throw in a few across the region and give you an idea. In fact, if it's one of your communities or close by, you can head on out. But it's going to be hot. We don't have a whole lot of breezes going on. The 4th of July hasn't changed a whole lot. Looking at the new data just in the last little bit. Hot afternoon. Do a little grilling, a little steak action, hamburgers, hot dogs. It is going to be a very warm afternoon, evening. You might want to find some water one way or another, even if you have to just bring in a bucket of water and throw it on yourself every so often. Anyway, we're talking about 90 degrees still at 9 o'clock. So the big booms going on the 4th of July are going to be hot and sticky. Lake look good, or the lakes look good for Friday and Saturday. Elevations have pretty much stabilized and have dropped in a few areas. Lake Eufaula is still having a little bit of concern. If you're going to be in the water, you're supposed to shower afterward. We're getting reports of at least 47 folks that had a rash after they've been in Lake Eufaula in stagnant areas. So just be aware of that. Make sure you clean up afterwards, so make sure you don't end up with a rash. Illinois River, oh my goodness, looking fantastic. Ideal floating conditions, 5 feet. It's going to be about 5'2", and so that's ideal. Temperatures will be in the low 70s for water temperatures. And if you want to go below the Lake Tenkiller, 62 degrees coming out of Lake Tenkiller, so you can just kind of freeze there for a minute. Anyway, we're talking about 70s to low 80s right now across the area. Tonight through the morning hours, not much going on. It's going to be relatively quiet. We'll be in the muggy low 70s, and then tomorrow afternoon, the beginning of hot and humid. Those are the words we're going to use to describe it, 90s. Slight chance of isolated storms if you're in southeast Kansas. Saturday morning seems about the only thing other than far southeast Oklahoma, and we'll be in the 90s. Any chance of rain is pretty much very isolated on Saturday. Sunday's our best chance, and that's about 10, 15, maybe 20% chance. Forecast 73, warm, and then hot and muggy, as we have to start using the word muggy again, because that's where we're headed with this. Temperatures will be around the century mark much of next week, 4th of July. As we say, hotter than a firecracker or multiple firecrackers. And so just be ready, because it's rolling on into Dodge or Tulsa, wherever you are.